Welcome to another episode of Brand Marks the Spot. It is Tuesday, and that means we are live at 11 a.m., which we try to go live every week right at around the same time. If you are here with me live, drop in a comment and say hello. And if you are catching the replay, just give a little hashtag replay in the comments. Just help with some of the insights through Facebook goes. So I appreciate that. Again, I'm your brand buddy, Patrick Sesko, and in this week's episode of Brand Marks the Spot, we're going to be talking about not letting your emotions kill your brand. And we'll get into the details of how that can happen, and we'll just talk a little bit about how you can prevent that from doing that. And this episode today is brought to you by my Create a Killer Visual Brand Roadmap. And if you are just starting out in business or you just want to level up your branding, this roadmap gives you a soup to nuts overview of all of the things that you need to do to create a successful, consistent, and effective brand, all the way from your strategy stuff, your ideal customers, your positioning, your messaging, your values, your tone of voice, your personality, through your brand identity, your logos, and your visual stuff, through the design and implementation and the delivery of all of those things in your brand. So if that is up your alley and you want to know how to do that, just go ahead and grab the free report at patricksesko.com/brand roadmap. And let's get on with today's show. And I don't have bullet points to talk about today, but I want to just talk about in general how your emotions can damage your brand, your reputation. And a lot of times people will just react on a whim, and they won't take time to marinate on something, and they'll just respond without thinking. And a lot of times they'll regret that response because it may not have been appropriate or what have you. In business, everyone says, oh, it's business, it's not personal. But when you're a solopreneur or you're starting out in business, you better believe it is personal. I mean, like, we put our heart and soul into this. We put our money into this. So we have a lot riding on it. We put ourselves out there when we're not comfortable. We're doing hard work. We're doing all the things. Not only are we doing the work that our clients and customers hire us for, or we're selling the products that we're selling them, we have to do the back end stuff, the marketing, the writing, the emails. You have to create your website, because you can't be an online entrepreneur without any kind of web presence. You have to take care and manage your social media accounts, and that can be a huge amount of time, and just creating your graphics, writing your web sales pages. Then you have your back end stuff, your accounting, your bookkeeping, your systems, your email service provider. The list goes on, so business is personal. And a lot of times we get so invested in our business that, we do take it personally if somebody has a bad experience with us, or if somebody's kind of nasty with us, or if somebody leaves a bad comment on a Facebook post. We do take it personally. So it's important that you can't control that stuff from happening. I mean, you can, in terms of, your integrity, you have integrity in how you do business, but like, you're going to have people that you're going to piss off. You're going to have people that are just going to be just negative Nancy's and just, trolls, and just leave comments and whatnot. So, a couple of things to prevent you from responding to those things. When somebody leaves a negative comment, don't even respond to it unless it's like a full-on attack, or if it's, a threat or something like that. Then you might, want to report it through if it's a Facebook, report it. But don't respond to it, especially right away. Like, sleep on it for 24 hours, right? And oftentimes, depending on how big your community is, other people will defend you for you, and you won't even have to do that. So that's one way to do that. And what happens is, if you stoop to that kind of level and, go back and insult them or respond to them in a negative way, it kind of like stoops to their level, right? And you're not taking the high road in it. And if your brand values are that of integrity, then you do that. You're not living your brand values. So that's how it can kill your reputation, because most of us know that there are going to be trolls online. They're going to just try to get a rise out of you. Don't give them the satisfaction. The best thing to do is to ignore those types of comments. Now, if you're dealing with like a brick and mortar, I want to tell you a little story about. So my mom, who's 87 years old, and she lives alone, and she's pretty well to do for the most part. But her fireplace went out in February, I believe, or late January, early February. She has a gas fireplace, and she bought the fireplace from this company that installed it like 7 years ago. She's had the yearly contracts with it. Anyways, it's late January, early February. The fireplace is not working, so it's chilly, and it's in a room that doesn't get a lot of heat, because it's an addition. It's not part of the main heating system. So we call the place to get an appointment to have somebody come out and fix it. And we call, and it's like a 2-week waiting period. Obviously, it's wintertime. People's fireplaces are working. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so understood. Schedule the appointment for 2 weeks. A guy comes out and says, it's going to need a part. Okay, cool. Well, it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to get the part. And I was like, are you kidding me? So, okay. So, fine. At this point. So anyways, he goes back, they take care of it. 2 or 3 weeks pass by. We didn't hear anything. So I just call them to check in. And long story short, the part was never ordered. So it was going to be 6 to 8 weeks from 3 weeks prior, but it was never ordered. So that 6 to 8 weeks hadn't even started yet. Meanwhile, my mom's using a little space heater. It's probably a fire hazard at this point. And the guy, so I kind of let the guy have it. And I was like, this is for an elderly woman. You guys don't seem to be really caring about your customers. And the guy says, he goes, well, we'll call you as soon as it's ordered. And I was like, well, I don't believe you now, because you guys said you were going to call me when it was ordered before, and you haven't done that. And now it's we're going to have to wait another 6 to 8 weeks. And when I said, yeah, I don't believe you, you guys probably aren't going to call. And you know what the guy says? He goes, yeah, you're probably right. So right there and then, you're going to have conflict with customers now and again, right? Things happen, I understand. But when you say that about your own business, you better believe I'm not going to hire them or ever recommend anybody. So that one little comment, I'm sure the guy was frustrated, but you just don't say that. And, I'm never going to, employ them again, and I'm never going to recommend them to anybody ever again. So those kinds of things can damage your brand, and then there are other things, I'm sure recently, if you're in the online space, you've seen some, there's a big name out there. I don't get into like naming names because I don't get into the drama of it. But apparently there was some comments that she had made on her on her Instagram or something along those lines. And there was just a huge uproar, and it was about sort of white privilege and sort of insensitivity to the station that she has in her life. And so there was a lot of uproar, and rather than um, doing damage control, she just sort of stood behind that, and that kind of, I think, emotion actually damaged her brand. And that can happen to anybody. And we all make mistakes. We're human. And if you make a mistake, if you do respond to something, or if you do say something that you regret, get out there and just do a sincere apology. And if it is true to who you are, your past actions will prove that, right? We make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. And if that is true to who you are, then those mistakes will keep happening over and over again, and they're probably not mistakes. But if it's a one-off or something, and you make a mistake, and you look at your past actions, and it's usually pretty good up until that mistake, then that kind of shows you who you really are. And that's kind of that speaks to living your brand values. So those are the kind of things that you want to be really careful about. My recommendation is to just don't respond right away. Marinate, think about it, journal, meditate, whatever it is that you do. Go for a walk. I just got a puppy a golden retriever puppy. His name is Coda. Play with your dogs, play with your kids, take a break, and come back to it, because in any situation when there's conflict or when there's emotion, high emotions, the best thing to do is to take a step back. And again, I'm guilty of these things in my personal and my business life. Sometimes you get an unruly customer who tries to go out of scope of a project, and you tell them, oh, that's not part, whatever the issue is. Uh, it can be stressful, and it's an emotional thing. So it is business for sure. You're not here to give away the farm. You're here to run a business. You're here to make money, and you're here to support your business and your families. But it is also an emotional attachment, because we are so ingrained in our solo businesses, especially if you're an online entrepreneur. It can be the lines can be very blurred from personal to professional life. So your meditation, don't respond right away. Keep paper trails of everything if there's a specific thing, and just give. And like my mentor Bobby Klink, one of his values is radical giving, and I've sort of adopted that on a certain level. And it's just like, hey, just make your customer happy the best way you can without giving away the farm. And sometimes serving your customer just means making them another offer that is an extension of what they're already doing. So just, giving and serving are, you can charge for those things. You don't have to necessarily give away the farm. So anyways, that's how you can not let your emotions kill your brand. And if you just kind of stay true to that, and think about what you're saying and when you're saying it, or if you do have a gaffe, like, get back on there and just be yourself, apologize or whatever that is, or reach out, and that's just how you deal with it. So, and that's what I got for you today. With a little bit of a short one. So, and just as a little on the side, I am going to be opening up my calendar for some one-on-one brand starter kit VIP days. This is kind of a beta offer. I don't have a fancy web page or sales page for it. You can certainly check out my website, patricksesko.com, or check out the branding guide I told you about earlier, patricksesko.com/brand roadmap. And I am looking to take on, between, 3 to 5 clients that are going to be sort of beta testers of this new one-on-one VIP brand in a day, which is going to be nailing your brand foundations, like your colors, your fonts, a simple text-based logo, a basic look and feel, and how to apply it to your online social media. And it's going to include some custom templates for your brand, lead magnet templates, social media templates, as well as some coaching calls with me. So definitely reach out, comment here that you're interested, or just send an email to hello@patricksesko.com. And we will talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.